In the aftermath of tragedy, mystery has emerged. Why did the computer choose to save Aaron Yeager during the incident? What lurks behind the disappearance of 3 other cadets? How will the ship remain protected with the imprisonment of Lieutenant Levi? And what clues can be found before it's too late?
Mikasa, what exactly are we going to do?
What's it look like? We're gonna see what we can find in their room.
Well, what if they're still there?
Then the quest to find them will obviously be over, Aaron.
Oh, right. So, this is it?
Mm-hmm. This is what the manifest says was their room.
Alright. I could try breaking into the keypad. I don't totally understand Sasha's hacking trick, but it's worth a shot at least.
We don't have time for that.
Okay, well, do you have any better ideas of getting in?
As a matter of fact, I do.
And that would be, Mikasa, wait! You just kicked the door open?
I got us in, didn't I?
Well, yeah, but...
We're breaking in illegally. Does it really matter how we do it?
You have a point, I guess. This place is rather neat.
Yeah. It's either been cleaned up since they left, or they purposely made it look like this.
You take a look in the shelf over there. I'll check if there's anything still on the bed.
I don't see anything in the shelves at all. Not even clothes.
Nothing under the bed. Damn. Well, it's not like there's a lot of hiding spaces in these rooms anyway.
We're on deck 24, right?
Yeah. And?
I remember something about the designs of these suites back when we learned about the history of the arcs.
That was the class John always slept through, right?
Yeah. Anyway, I think there's some storage space under the bed, on the wall.
I need to crawl under there?
If you get trapped, I'll pull you out.
I think I can manage myself just fine, thank you.
Well, go!
This is not what I signed up for.
Have you reached the storage space yet?
Yeah, I think I'm there. Whoa, there's actually something here. It looks like it's a journal.
Take it out and crawl back.
Alright. Here you go.
This is pretty detailed.
Can you tell who wrote it?
It's Reiner.
How can you tell?
It talks about Berholt in the third person.
Gotcha.
This is odd.
What?
It starts 2 days after the attack on Arc Maria, but it's about getting lost in Arc Rose.
Perhaps they didn't know their way around once they got transferred?
Well, yeah, but there's no mention anywhere. And they were supposed to be from Arc Maria.
That does seem strange, but it doesn't really prove anything.
No, it doesn't. But it's really strange. And there's just some really strange gaps of time. Not to mention, none of this makes any sense.
What do you mean?
Here, look at this page.
It's the day before the placement examination. I hope we're able to get through it all right. The computer can be rather tricky to deal with. It's imperative that we do.
And right after that, he's talking about his breakfast. It just has no consistency.
2 waffles and eggs, bacon, and a side of Annie's glares. What a wonderful way to start the day.
Mikasa, this just seems like a bunch of useless bullshit.
Even still, the fact that he wanted to keep a journal is interesting in itself.
Why?
Because they stopped making them before we were born. And as a measure to control records of history, they destroyed the others in the years before the A.R.M.I.N attack. There's no way they could have received this aboard the ship.
You do realize this is a changed recommendation.
Yes, Admiral, but I feel it is absolutely essential. The Jaeger boys now roaming around the ship, right as the Arcs are nearing a significant cluster of Titans. That is a recipe for disaster should he not be controlled.
This is what I told you we should do weeks ago.
Yes, but the proximity of Titans had not factored into my calculations, as this is entirely new information.
Have you run this by the administrator?
Yes, sir. He asked me to get your consent before moving ahead, as it would require the deployment of the police coordinates forces.
What if he knows what he has?
Nothing he can do can affect other human beings, Admiral.
I understand that. My concern is him running. The police are already spread thin, not to mention corrupt, no matter how much I work on uprooting the bad apples.
That is an understandable concern, Admiral. In a worst-case scenario, I will utilize the emergency protocols for immediate capture and quarantine.
Very well. Try not to make a scene.
Understood.
Going through the printed records again?
Yeah, I've been assigned to backup records maintenance today. Administrator Gaius' term years 985 to 991. And this isn't anything new to me, but it's amazing how different each administrator ran things. 1,000 years of administrators brings great diversity in leadership styles. Honestly, it's all quite exciting.
Ugh, boring. Come on, Elias. What's so interesting about some old guys and their history running these ships?
Because, Dev, they're not boring. If you actually paid the slightest bit of attention to what these records said, instead of binding and sorting them every day without care, you'd probably find them interesting too.
I'm sorry, dude, but I don't share your weird obsession with history. I live in the moment, Elias.
Which is exactly why I'm positive your selection for the records department was a mistake. You show no respect for our history, Dev. Don't you get it? When our descendants on Axiom look back towards their ancestors, this is all they're gonna see. This journey means nothing to them if they don't learn of our struggles. Without knowledge of the past, there's no way for a society to move forward successfully. They'll end up repeating past mistakes over and over, never learning. A society like that just can't function.
I think you may be overestimating the importance of this stuff. I mean, really. When you actually think about it, all these records are just meaningless information packets. The stuff we record is completely meaningless to a generation of people who don't have to learn to live in a place like this, where we're always running out of food or forcing our people to work at younger and younger ages to make up for the lack of morale among the adults. None of this matters in the long run, so what's the point?
The point, Dev, is that history is a lot longer than you think. Maybe it won't affect our direct descendants, but a couple of generations down the line? Who's to say that some crisis won't befall our people? What if our system of government on the Arcs could be molded and adapted to fit such a scenario?
Okay, I get it, man. You don't have to go extremely into detail for everything.
I'm simply trying to defend my position, Dev. What are you talking about?
All I'm saying is, your philosophical banter isn't exactly my cup of tea, alright?
Whatever.
So, I saw you eyeing that girl down in Station 3A, eh?
Don't you have work to do?
Yeah, I suppose I do. Man, you're so boring.
You know, you don't have to stand around me every goddamn minute of the day, Dev.
No, I don't. But I do anyway. Because I care about you.
Oh, shut up, man. You just don't want to do your job. Not like I care, since I end up doing your quota anyway.
Oh, come on. Don't be like that, man. Alright. Look. I'll make a deal with you.
Uh-huh.
Okay, just hear me out. Okay. If you go and ask that girl out in 3A, I'll do both our quotas. Deal?
Dev, I don't even like her like that. She's just attractive is all.
Hold up. You're telling me you'd rather spend your entire day filing records than going out with that girl?
Actually, yes. She seems more up your alley anyway. You know the type. Empty-headed, clumsy, easy to fool into thinking you're actually cool. Which you aren't, in case you're wondering.
Ha ha ha. Very funny, Elias.
I'm just saying. If you're gonna shirk your responsibilities anyway, it might as well be with an accomplice.
Oh my... That's actually not a bad idea, Elias.
Thank you, I try.
What is going on over here?
Dev's just being Dev again.
And Elias is still being a total stuck-up.
Devin, how many times have I told you, leave this poor boy alone? And for God's sake, if you're going to sit around and do nothing, at least do it somewhere else.
Jeez! Alright.
And maybe, just maybe, you could actually work on your quota for once. How about it?
Maybe, ma'am. Maybe.
That kid. When is he gonna learn? Hey, Elias. You're one of the hardest workers, you know that?
Oh, I guess.
No. What I mean to say is, after all the work you've done for us, you don't ever feel like taking a break?
Honestly, not really. This stuff interests me, so I'm never really bored with the work I do.
Still, you should really get out more, Elias. You're always cooped up in here. I'm sure there's a lot of Arc Rows you've never even been to before.
I really don't mind being here, you know.
Yes, I understand that, Elias. But working in the records department is more than just sorting files. You usually get stuck with these jobs because Devin is a lazy piece of shit and won't do his share, which is more than a little unfair. Look, I'll take over your quota for today.
Huh?
Consider it a gift for all your hard work.
But what about Dev? I've still got to do his quota too.
I'll handle it, Elias. In return, I just ask that you use this time to go and actually walk around the place you live. There are other places than just your home and this office.
Right.
All right? Now go pack up. I'll handle things from here.
Sure. Let me just finish this up. Okay, I'm good. Thanks.
Don't mention it. Even though I'm sure you'd probably prefer to do this than walk around.
Actually, those particular records are old news to me, so I don't really mind it.
If you say so, Elias. If you see your friend, go punch him on the shoulder for me.
Will do. See you later.
The assembly hall.
Yeah, there were a ton of important people talking to the people here. I'm sure we can find someone who we can interrogate.
Interrogate? Are you serious?
No matter what I want to do, you're always annoyed by it.
What are we gonna ask them anyway?
How about why the fucking computer tried to kill Jean?
You think they'll just go ahead and tell us? The whole thing sounds pretty insane.
Just the reason for us to have a plan of action. Ah, got it. We'll do good cop, bad cop.
Good cop, what?
You'll be super nice to the official, and I'll be mean.
What will that do?
It's a way to get some answers, you bald shit. Now fucking follow me.
You love getting in trouble, don't you? Hello, sir.
Oh, two cadets. Can I help you? I'm headed to a meeting with the police coordinate.
Well, we were wondering if you could help us out with some questions we have.
I'm not in the mood for games. Now step aside, please.
How about you tell us what we want to know before we cut your balls off and throw them out that goddamn airlock?
Excuse me.
Sasha! What the hell's wrong with you? She meant to say, who we would go to for questions about A.R.M.I.N.
About A.R.M.I.N? There's no one who directly oversees his system. Well, that's not entirely accurate. My understanding is the GovCom runs that system.
Your understanding? What do you mean?
I mean, that's what I've heard it to be. Now please, take these shenanigans to your superior.
Thanks a lot, Connie. Let him get away.
Get away? You threatened to cut off his testicles!
I was being funny.
You don't pull that shit to the Vice Admiral of the Ark!
He'll live.
This was pointless.
I don't think so.
Huh?
Really, Connie, this is rather strange. If a Vice Admiral doesn't know about the A.R.M.I.N system's top processing, then a bunch of civilian politicians on the governance committee manage it? That just doesn't make logical sense.
What if there's a reason they're keeping it from the divisions?
Wait. That's brilliant! Connie, that makes total sense! You're a genius!
Well, I do consider myself rather smart.
There's a conspiracy going on at the highest levels of government. Let's go investigate the committee.
Oh, no.
I'm prepared to carry you.
No, don't you dare!
You're so light, too.
Put me down! Come on!
Only when we get there.
Admiral, may I speak freely?
Go ahead.
Helena, I'm concerned about the decision of the Judicial Council, especially at a time when our arcs may be in danger.
Maybe? No, they will be, Irvin. And by our estimates, it's a matter of hours now.
And yet you imprison our best fighter.
I reduced his sentence dramatically. You were there.
Helena, I know you're under pressure from the committee.
Irvin, this isn't the time or the place for—
But we've known each other since we first joined these divisions. And I never thought we, of all people, would be at odds.
Irvin, we are not going to talk about our past here. Not in this office, not under these conditions.
Use the common sense I know you have. Let him go. Put him back in detention once we've cleared the nebula.
You know I can't do that.
And why's that? Because you're afraid of looking weak in front of your inferiors?
No. You know I only do what I think is right.
Then why?
Because on this one, it's out of my hands.
You mean?
Yes, straight from the committee. But this is extremely classified information. If you tell a soul, I will rip off one of your fucking arms.
No need to worry, Admiral. You've given me all I need from you.
I don't even know what to think about all this. I never imagined in a million years I'd be forced to play detective.
It's an unfortunate situation, but it's best that we find out the answers for ourselves. With Levi in prison and the others either on advanced team missions or on Arxena, it seems only us cadets are in a position to discover the truth.
When we meet up with the others, we need to consider telling the civilians what's going on.
Tell the civilians?
Absolutely. The A.R.M.I.N plays a much bigger role in their lives than it does with us. They deserve to know that something's either messed up with the computer, or there's something wrong with the people up top.
I'm starting to believe those two things aren't mutually exclusive.
I hear ya. Hey, watch where you're going.
Cadet, identify yourself.
Who are you?
We're members of the S subdivision of the police coordinate. You will identify yourselves.
I'm Cadet Mikasa Ackerman, and he's Cadet A.R.M.I.N Yeager. And we're both members of the—
He's the one. Seize him!
No,
let
your
go!
Hands off him! Run! We have to get out of here! I heard more footsteps behind us!
What the hell's going on?
I don't know, but they didn't look nice, and I doubt they're alone.
What the hell do they want with me?
Are we gonna ask them? Eyes ahead, Aaron!
Okay, got it.
Aaron! Mikasa! You've been instructed to cease your flight by order of Fleet Admiral Acacius. Cease immediately.
Why is he being taken in?
That is none of your concern. The order has been issued. If you continue to resist arrest, I will have to implement emergency protocols to stop you.
Isn't that the same protocol you used when you tried to kill John? I can't believe I actually thought you were my friend!
I am your friend, Aaron. But I am also the medium between power and justice. And you shall cease!
No, not to A.R.M.I.N. Not with so many mysteries yet unsolved. This doesn't make any sense, A.R.M.I.N. Tell me why we're being chased. I have a right to know.
This is your last warning, Aaron Yeager. Stop your flight.
I won't.
The force field. Shit.
We're surrounded on both sides.
This is bad.
They must really want me badly.
Yeah. Aaron?
Mikasa, is that what I think it is?
It looks like an image of A.R.M.I.N. walking towards us.
A.R.M.I.N?
Hello. Now that we can see each other face to face, I think it'd be appropriate for us to talk.
You're a hologram.
For now, yes. So, where are we to begin? I'm sure this detention will prove most useful for everyone involved.
We won't listen to you, A.R.M.I.N.
And we're not just gonna sit here and take it.
Very well. In that case, I will have no choice but to kill you.